This video is sponsored by
Echo D Super Baby Diaper and Wet Wipes.
My name is Joseph Emmanuel Sarpong. I'm a football coach, not an ordinary coach, a very big coach in the country, one of the oldest coaches in the country. I have 5 children, 2 girls. I say girls, not women. 2 girls, 3 boys. And my grandchildren are 14. One is on the way coming, so it will be 15 later. This is history, eh? I remember I was then teaching as a pupil teacher. And then I had a call one afternoon that I should come back home. You know, in our village, when the elders call you, then we have 2 things. Either it's a very big problem, or you are coming to give them advice, you know. So I came down, then in the evening, a delegation came from my wife's end to inform my mother that my wife was pregnant. You know, we are then not married. So it's just like the lover beds. So they asked me whether I was responsible. I said, yes, I was responsible. Okay. That's all that you want to know. So I asked them, oh, is that the reason why you have asked me to travel all the way to Nkonya? They said, yes. So, okay, thank you very much. I'll go back. So that's how it happened. You know. And then when she delivered, that was the difficult aspect of it. When she didn't have the privilege of going to hospital. So she delivered in the house. You know how difficult it is. I was told my wife was about to deliver. I didn't go to class that day, so I had hallucination. But that was my first experience. I didn't know how it was going to happen. So the following day, I had news that she had delivered a baby boy. In fact, the oldest of the family now. So I said, okay. Then I had to drive back. I had to come back to Nkonya again. And then I fear babies. So I didn't get close to my son. I was a few meters away watching. I just stretched my head to see what was lying there, you know. So they were pushing me, you have a baby, you don't get near. I said, no, it's okay, I've seen him. So just let me go. So subsequently, when he started growing. Then I visited home. They would bring the baby and put the baby on my lap, forcing me to. I'll be shivering, but if I leave it will drop. You know. So later I became conversant with handling these babies. So in short, that was my experience at my first birth. The first one didn't go to hospital. My third born, who is a boy, I asked my wife went to hospital to deliver the boy. But for my second born, who is Joyce, she was delivered in the house. And incidentally, after the delivery of Joyce, there was fighting between Nkonyans and the Alabamians. But then I was teaching at Pong RC Primary. And I had a driver friend who was plying that route. Weekends, I worked with him as a driver's mate, collecting money and loading buses. I could drive, so we were only 2. At times I drove, at times he would drive. So I told him that this is what is happening at home, so I would like us to drive to Nkonya. A place called Agbonahwe, and meet my wife, then pick them back to Bon. So when I communicated with them, so we got there, and then we picked them to Bon. So he asked me, what about my mother, who was left behind? And then my mother-in-law, who was also left behind. You see, because you have taken away your daughter and your wife, and then your niece. You see, what about the others at home? Of course, I knew they were old enough, you know, so after all, they know where to pass. These people are young kids, you know. So that was it. I brought them down, then the fighting got down. But I think, I never remember that they went back home, so I had to continue with them. To Accra Academy. When after I completed my school in my university in Uniba, I was employed at Accra Academy as a PE teacher, from sports master. You call it sports master, but as a PE teacher for about 26 years. So that's where they grew. So my third born was born in Accra Academy. Yeah. Well, being a coach, when I go out to coach and I come back, I become exhausted. So I sleep more than even the woman who is caring for the baby. See, at times, I will hear the baby crying. And then the mother will be knocking my leg and my head, and I should wake up and care for the baby because she wants to sleep. Because all the day, she'll be caring for the baby. Now, when it's your turn to care for the baby, you are sleeping. So get up. So I'll just in fact, with sleep in my eyes. I said, don't worry, you can sleep. The baby will wailing, crying, shouting, I don't mind. She will rather get up and then carry the baby. Then see, if you look at the face, you squeeze the face. That two of you brought the child, and then you alone, you have shifted the burden on her alone. Then she'll be murmuring, she'll be talking, but I didn't mind because I was also exhausted. See, sometimes I felt for the women, in fact, especially for my wife. Waking up at odd times of the night to breastfeed the baby. And my children also could cry in the night. They could cry, they could yell. I don't know where they got that thing from. They could yell. The whole building will be vibrating. You see? So I don't know whether they are in contact with a new world and they start to shout. You see? So you see, my wife was restless sometimes. Sometimes I have to console her. So what we do is that in the morning, when the baby is sleeping, both of you are free. Then the beauty of it is that the baby will be put in the hall, the sitting room. Then the man will be the supervisor. Then the woman will be preparing food in the kitchen. So any alarm for the baby, you have to draw the attention of the mother to come forward. Then she will shout, "Oh, why? The baby likes crying too much. Let me also be free." But the baby doesn't hear what you are saying. You keep on crying. It's a very huge experience. Very huge experience. It's better to have the children, the boys circumcised at birth. I mean, after birth. They don't feel the pains. Why do I say that? From experience, I grew before I was circumcised. It was very painful. And I was not circumcised in the hospital. By this wanzam, we call them wanzam, the houses. Very, very painful. That also has hardened me because I've gone through pains. So I don't feel any pains again. So my boys were circumcised in the hospital. Yes, that is the best thing to do. That one, when they are growing up, they don't feel any pains again. Everything is done. Yeah. No, that was in the 79 coup. Rolling school. You see, that was in the heat of this fighting where I went for my family from the village. Incidentally, I was also part of the people who were supporting the revolution. I was on that side of the region, eastern region, Kosovo side. So I was made but those were the times when they were selling things. They sold. If they come to you, the soldiers will come and ask you how much you sell it, and they will reduce the prices. And then if you were hoarding, they will just fish you out. And they forced me to be the coordinator there. You can't say no. The soldiers will say, "We are making you the coordinator." If you say no, that means you are against the revolution. So reluctantly, you have to say, okay. So it made me popular. At times I had to defend some of these people because they are your people you are there with. That was in the event of the birth of these children, especially my daughter. They didn't see anything. But and then in '84, that was during the famine. Fortunately I was in school then. I remember very well that I had to ask whether they had food at home. Sometimes when food was given to us, I had to run home and give the food out and get back to school. I would go and then I would go empty stomach because I had to feed them. This is even more important than me. So at times I had to go hungry in the school. At times we go for this people call, I don't know how they call it, bodo. They use it in making stew. It's pressed on the ground. I will just go for some, grind it and give it to the domestic science students to prepare some food or some soup out of it for me to drink. Sometimes we fed on coconut. No, it was Winneba, a whole of coconut. So we go for the coconut, you peel it, and then after drinking the water, you go to class. You come back for the food is proper. After the juice, you go for the coconut itself, and then you chew it that way. Drink water on top and sleep. Man has suffered, but if you see people suffering in the world, you don't know. They don't tell you their story. You see? So of course they were born in that revolution, but they are not revolutionaries. No, they're not, because they didn't see it. They didn't know where I went. But the mother knew how I was suffering, because she was always aware of what was happening. Yeah, very exciting. Then you look back at your age, and you are getting closer to the grave. The moment you start getting grandchildren, you are getting closer to your grave. You look at your age and see that, no, it's wonderful. You start getting grandchildren, your children are going back to children more, and they will grow and come and meet you. So they are going to carry your coffin. So that's exciting anyway. See, they are very interesting, children. See, I normally like the way they will come, call you grandpa. This one will come with a report. The other one will come, look, this person has beaten me. Jerry has beaten me. This guy. So, very interesting. You have to console one, and then you try to console the other. In less than 1 hour, they will come back. One will come back crying. That is the beauty of it. So you sit in your cozy chair, and then welcoming the reports from them. Then you solve the reports for them. That was very interesting. Very interesting. Especially my other daughter. She has 3 girls. And then, the second born is, how do I describe her? Very difficult to control. Very difficult to control. She took to her mother and then the senior mother. She doesn't take anything for no. Everything should be yes. And my other daughter, also like that. She will squeeze her face and not talk to you. That she needs something. And then she'll just look somewhere, you don't like to talk to you. And then she'll come out and say, look, you're not my friend, don't talk to me. Very interesting, to have grandchildren. But the whole scenario is that if you have people around you, we are only 2. My mother brought only 2, and delivered only 2 of us. My senior sister is alive, and then I came second, so I'm something like Kachri, But I didn't behave like those Kachris who are baby, mommy's children. No, my house, it wasn't like that. I was rather the stubborn one who was bullied by my mother. But I'm happy my children didn't take to my lifestyle. I was very difficult child. At one time I told my schoolboys the way I behaved in school. I was known in the whole area, not as an armed robber, but as a stubborn boy, So even back in school, in my secondary school time, they knew if you mention my name all around that side, they will bring you to my house. Anything that went bad, my name will be part of it. But I'm happy my children didn't take to me. So that is it for now. We are on. Yeah, you see, there's no much enjoyment because of the way you bring out money. You have to fend for the house. Whether you have it or not, you have to bring it for them to cook for you. But my wife was considerate. My wife was supporting. So at times, if I don't have money, she easily knows that I don't have money. She looks at my face and knows that this man has no money today. So she will always say, you take this one. because she was then preparing food on the compound. The students were, in fact, eating from her house. So she had some money. At one time, I had no money. She decided not to give me the money. I had to use my way to take the money by force. It's silly in quote, but because if I say give me something, I don't give me, I take it without your consent. It's silly. But in the home, it's not silly. If you take your wife's money, it's not silly. it's borrowing. borrowing in absentia. So it was good, but the difficult aspect is how to discipline your children. See the way they should move. Our wives are a little bit soft, when it comes to tending the children. At least the father should also not be too fearful, like a soldier shouting here and there. No, at times you have to apply the brakes. But I don't remember the time. I've not been beating my children before. No. I don't quarrel with my wife. I don't beat my children. But they know the right from the wrong. They know what you should do. Because as a teacher and as a coach, I'm a disciplinarian, and they were tutored along the line. So my children don't misbehave outside the house. No, you don't do that. Because when you go out, they know you're identified. You are carrying my name. That's Coach Sarpong's daughter. That's Coach Sarpong's son. Look at how he's behaving. Look at how she's behaving. No, it means it's where my corporate responsibility, my corporate support. So that one is here and there. It's not so difficult. In the morning, you go to school, you go and teach, you go for sports, you come back home. It's just like whatever it is, they'll ask you, Daddy is home. So, Daddy, what did you bring for me? That sort of thing. So, it was just normal. It was normal. Nothing bad about it. Nothing to say about it. No, it was normal, very smooth. In my case, I don't know somebody's house. Somebody may be, as we are speaking now, somebody may even has been locked in the room by the wife for misbehaving. So me, I didn't have that difficulty at all. Yeah. That's because perhaps the background it came from. So also put that in perspective. You see, the only thing which is very sad in a way was when I traveled away from Accra with my students we were going to Chirensua to have some games. So I didn't know what happened. When I got to Kumasi, I told my headmistress that I wouldn't travel again. I want to get back to Accra. She said, why? I said, no, they should go and come. So I made my sports captain, who is now in UK. They were instrumental in sending me to UK. That was late last year. Said, look, carry the team with a few masters on board. I told him what to do, and they went. When I got to Accra, get into a house, there was one man, late Mr. Baden, met me and said, Coach, are you from the hospital? So my heart missed a beat. Hospital for what? I said, Junior, I call my son Junior. Junior and Joyce had an accident right now. So they have been carried to hospital. So I quickly ran home and I saw that my room was ransacked. The things were thrown helter-skelter. So I took my car and drove down to the hospital. Then I saw Joyce's leg in a plaster of Paris. So now she's a very bold, very strong-willed daughter. She was rather consoling me that I shouldn't worry. So it's the boy who had a deep cut in the forehead. What happened? They said they were coming from school. That they had told the brother to go for them from school. And the brother delayed. So as he was not coming, they decided to come on their own. So at the river crossing, the driver stopped for them to pass. And there was a car moving from behind who didn't see them. He just dragged them about 30 meters on the floor. And because of the way I was with people around Mubuashi, the Zongo area, Zongo people, I hear the rust of the driver. He had some few beatings. and they went and bought petrol to come and burn the bus, the car. Fortunately for them, somebody rang the police, so they had to rush there on time. They would have destroyed the vehicle, So, in fact, I became peeved. I remember very well that I asked my wife to tell me where the driver was. Not knowing, she told the driver that he should allow me to see him. Because if I saw him, I might kill him. So, anytime he visited the hospital, he should make sure that I should identify him. So there was a time when I went to the hospital, I had a cutlass in my car. That anywhere I met him, I would butcher him. So when I got there, I think my wife saw me coming, and he quickly told the man to get away. The man left. So I said, has the man not come to visit my children? He said, no, he was trying to prevent me from seeing the man. No, what happened later? My small boy came home. Luckily for me, the doctor in charge at that time was my student in Accra Academy, was a school prefect, was then a doctor. So when he heard that they were my children, he was always on them. He's now having a hospital at Weya. He went to Russia and came back. So you see, later they got healed up. But when I see the scar on my daughter's leg, I remember many things. And I don't drink. If I were somebody who was drinking at that time, but was somebody who drinks, I think I would have been a drunkard. Because the whole thing went into me so much that I was strong, but I was disturbed all that time. Even I went to training, I would be absent-minded. I was then coaching a big team. I was coaching, I think, Olympics or so. I can't get to Olympics. So I always allow my assistant, Coach Duncan, to take over. And they didn't know why. Because I wasn't myself. I wasn't feeling fine. I was just absent-minded. I don't know what to teach. But fortunately for me, God so good. We are up, and then the other one is working. They're all working now. So that's the delight from bringing forth and then getting the real basis in life. But I give glory to God, at least, because I could have missed 2 children. So you ask yourself, when again? Being a father is not an easy thing to do. But if you stick your head out and say you are married, you must bear the responsibilities of a husband. You are going to. In fact, you have to. You are the head of the house. Anything that goes right is you. If it goes wrong, it's you. Giving out money. See, when the wife is pregnant, it's when they need your care. They need your support most. You see, as they need your support most. But these men, the young ones who have come, have not been treated as to the way of handling your wives at home. They batter them, they shout at them, any little thing they are annoyed. At this juncture, when the woman is pregnant, the man takes it as it's a holiday for him to go to town. Bullying people, flirting around, because the woman is pregnant, you don't like to sleep with the woman again. It's very bad. That is the time the woman needs your help, needs your support, needs your assistance. You see, and you have to have patience in talking to them, because at this particular time, they get irritated. Just something small, they get irritated. They even, use insulting words against you, but it is you. You should know how the situation gets for it. You have to calm them down. Don't stay at home, in the town. You come back home around 12 o'clock. When the woman is asleep, you come and knock for her to wake up. When perhaps the whole day she didn't sleep well. So that's the time she's sleeping, you come and knock and disturb her. When she says, you are annoyed, you are the man in the house. Meanwhile, you may not even come with that small something. You've taken some appetition somewhere. You come and disturbing the woman. All this is, don't go away for a son home. I think the men should take a cue from it that once you have taken the responsibility to marry, you must bear the consequences. You understand? You must bear the consequences. So all that is, and then you have to stick to your Bible. You see, if you are annoyed, get to your Bible. People who are not spiritually inclined, they think that Bible is just it's a light Bible. But as you read, you come across certain things in the Bible that will guide you in parenting your people. You see, so it does just get into the house in the morning. You want the woman to be doing everything for you. When you see that the belly is big, she can't even wash the place. She can't even bend down to wash. Why don't you help her? Why don't you wash the place? Even the clothes, okay, you can contact somebody to come and wash the things for her. But why don't you even cook? That, oh, sweetheart, today I've cooked, so come and take some rice. Perhaps there'll be too much salt, but you tell, oh, that is the interesting aspect of marrying. So, oh, today there's too much salt. So you see, when I cook, you say, see, so that there should be peace in the house. Peace in the house. The third party should not hear what pertains between you and your wife. No. Third party, you don't know what idea he has. The advice you give you will even have you to divorce, in no time. Then the same person will stand somewhere and say, look, these people, they can't marry. They've divorced. Meanwhile, he is the Judas Iscariot. Understand? So, for now, I think that's the piece of advice I give to the men who are going to marriage. And you don't rush into marriage. It's a long journey. Marriage is a long journey. It's not just from here to Kaswa. No. It's from here to Damungu. Very far. You understand? So, you have to take your time. Study yourselves. Oh, the do's and don'ts. Let them know. When I marry you, I don't like this. So, okay, you too, I don't like this. But more often than not, when they marry, they kick against all these things. Before you realize, there'll be blows in the house. So, for now, I think this is a piece I'll give out there to the men. Most of them are reverend fathers and pastors and what I'm saying, they know. So one day I would like you to bring one of them here to advise them, because they are closer to the Bible than me. I'm closer to the field, football field. They are closer to the Bible, so they will be able to educate the women more. Yeah.
This video was brought to you by
Echo D Super Baby Diaper and Wet Wipes made with bamboo.